The Black community, in spite of segregation, was working through their own efforts, collaborating and improving their own status.
The men pulled together for the economic progress and continued development of all. Many thousands of independent business establishments have found prosperity in this country. The largest business organization in the South, owned and operated by Negroes, is the North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company of Durham.
In the early 1920s, there were Northern blacks criticizing Southern blacks for living in the South, subjecting themselves and their families to white supremacy. But then a reporter from the North decided, because of his curiosity, he decided to travel to the South, spend some time there to see just how true it was that Southern blacks were subjecting themselves to this, this racism that was prevalent in the South. He spent time there, got the real scoop on just what was happening. Check this out.
George Schuyler was a prominent Northern journalist who believed much of the disparaging propaganda about the South, about what race relations were like in the South. That is until he himself toured the South in the mid-1920s.
1925, 1926. George Schuyler takes an 8-month journey through the South, reporting for the Pittsburgh Courier.
One of the most influential privately owned enterprises is the Pittsburgh Courier, largest Negro newspaper in America with a circulation over 300,000.
He went into the black sections of cities and towns, and he would talk to the leaders, the business people, the school superintendents, the principals. The Black community, in spite of segregation, was working through their own efforts, collaborating and improving their own status.
The men pulled together for the economic progress and continued development of all. Many thousands of independent business establishments have found prosperity in this country. The largest business organization in the South, owned and operated by Negroes, is the North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company of Durham. Another evidence of economic progress is the number of insurance companies owned and operated by members of the race. Another field that has been rapidly expanding is the savings and loan business. There are 27 Negro-managed savings and loan associations in America. It would be difficult to name a business or profession in which the Negro has failed to find opportunity.
All these Black Wall Streets that existed all over the South that we read about today, George Schuyler visited those places and knew them firsthand.
There were numerous Negro-owned tobacco farms in the vicinity. There was no lack of communication between members of the two races who had anything to communicate. Durham was an outstanding example of what Negroes could accomplish for themselves. It was headquarters of the North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company, the largest Negro-owned business in the country. There was also a flourishing bank, a fire insurance company, many successful smaller businesses, and the impressive North Carolina College for Negroes. George Schuyler.
He saw that the agenda to destroy these places was being carried out not by so-called Southern rednecks, but by the communists, who were using every creative tactic they knew of to try to incite friction between Southern whites and Southern blacks.
He quickly saw what communism was. He was talking about the radicals and the Marxists who were stirring things up. He saw what they were doing.
I have discussed the background of communist planning and maneuvers since 1922. Within less than a year, a half-dozen cities were disgraced by a wave of rioting and vandalism. However spontaneous their beginnings may have been, they were obviously exploited by the communists. Too often the communists have been guilty of doing the very things of which they accuse capitalists: prevarication, misrepresentation, libel, and violence. Schuyler.